Hello, players. Welcome to round 2 of our Tuesday night locals. My name is Andrew, and I thank you for watching. Today we have David trying out his new deck versus our so far undefeated Luke. Boo. Going at it round 1 here. I think this is our actually first time getting David on camera, so just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Looking at it, I believe David won the die roll. So he is going first, and he actually shows us an interesting deck that I think is going to be making a big comeback. Is Thunder King? No, Thunder Dragons. That's what it is, not Thunder Kings. Thunder Dragon. And in the first round, pretty quickly, David kind of shows us how ridiculous just one Colossus unbanned is, how ridiculous it really is. So it's kind of fun to see. So pitching the old God, this brings back memories. It's the old classic Thunder Dragon pitch 1. And then you immediately just go, well, this is going to hurt. Like, every time I've played this at any event or any just locals, like every time I see someone do that, I just go, ugh, it's just so free. It's 3 of Thunder. I mean, hit Thunder Dragon, just regular Thunder Dragon to 2. Don't make it so consistent. He activates, and then he is running the. Bystial package with Thunder Dragons is just also really good. I think in I don't remember speaking too much about it with his deck, but watching through, I believe it's kind of like a light and dark mixture. I mean, light and dark obviously with Thunder Dragons mixture, but looking at it, the old ways that Thunder Dragons used to be was just, pitch Thunder Dragon, make a big board that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. But now you're able to kind of search that, the Levianeer, light and dark, dragons still help it out a lot. So it's kind of interesting and kind of fun to see. So he is met with the Effect Veiler to stop the branded spell and traps from placing themselves, but it's kind of interesting where you can, you just see it's so ridiculous how powerful a Colossus just by itself is, and it's still a lot of fun. And the fact that they made, the Nemesis Corridor, Nemesis Red Flag, anyone can now do it as long as they're playing a banished deck or a banished capabilities. So just banishing a light and dark, and you have Nemesis Flag or Corridor. It's just free. I think the only thing, and I haven't checked or verified, but I wonder how they do against a Droll. Searching a Thunder Dragon, getting Drolled. The Bystial package typically needs to search as well. How much of it is searching all the time? I know Thunder Dragon Dark. So I think Droll is still just really powerful for everything. I'm not very familiar with Colossus all that much. I know that if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just banish a Thunder Dragon. So just banish a Thunder, from the graveyard. So just keeping Thunder Dragons in the graveyard is just so strong. Now, I don't know if that's a once per turn effect. I think maybe it's like once per turn if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish it. But still, you just dump as many Thunders in the grave as you can, keep it alive. Now on this, I think David just kind of passes here, thinking and hoping that it would be enough. And and Snake Eyes, their whole thing, Poplar. If this card is added from your deck to your hand, special. They search so much. Even Ash, normal summon, add one. They do so much adding that I don't know what else is possible. Maybe if David's smart enough to know, but maybe if he played that Thunder Dragon in the Anima Call, you could just summon Ash, summon the level 1, steal the Thunder Dragon, and then just just go off that way. But in this case, I think looking at the hand that Luke is playing with, I don't think he has much options. So and with Luke just setting one passing, I think it kind of gives a range for David to kind of go off. And I think looking at it, I know a lot of the Snake Eyes do run a lot of hand traps, but I think the only thing David needs to really worry about is just a nib. So, I mean, I think he'd be in a safe spot right now. The Colossus stopping you from searching is just still so powerful. So thanks, Konami, for that one. But looking at David's comboing and playing, I mean, keeping it as simple as possible, just getting him down in one swing before the fifth summon, he should be safe. But you always got to respect the nib. So, and I'm not saying Luke had nib. I have no idea what Luke had. I think he said that he was going to, if he could, survive, I guess would be the right word. He might have been able to play next turn, depending on what, you know, Thunder Dragons are able to do. And I never actually asked him, and I think I want to later on, but I want to check to see, is there any natural way for them, without siding, to go in, to go and get around Colossus? Is there something that Fire Kings can typically do going second? If someone summons a Colossus that they can get around, without just an Anima. How bad does that card really destroy them? Because I think if that card is just floating around, I mean, if they summon it against Fire King and they can't do anything, I mean, what else do they do except for maybe siding, to prepare for it? But a lot of people, when watching a lot of YouTubers talking about, Thunder Dragon Colossus, and how, yes, it spiked on release of the ban list, but it's slowly gone down just because there's not a lot. It's not seeing or showing a lot of play, and it's not overly, that good. But I mean, if you can combo it, make a rank 4 pretty easily, link play into with Parallel Exceed, and just get it out, it's still a really strong card in my opinion. Without a natural way of getting it out, a natural way of outing it, it's tough. But with this, I mean, David's kind of able to go off. I don't think there's any hand trap that Luke would want to even attempt to stop currently, if he had any. I think we're sitting at 2 summons right now, so. And I think, yep, David just kind of goes in for it and tries to get it about as much damage, if not lethal, on board to kind of kill him. So.
Attributing issues. Use this too much. Yeah, so this attribute the target. That's cost. Okay. So the target will be your physical administrator. Alright. Then we'll do pure swarm effect targeting dark or targeting war. Yeah, and then specialized from the deck defense. Okay. Now.
And I think that would be about maybe third or fourth summon, but yeah, Luke realizes that there's not much that he had that he could do. So he scoops it up. So moving on to game 2. So I think they both. I believe David, when we were playing, I think he just got there and he was building it. So I think he had a side built for it, but we'll see how going first how Thunder Dragons can survive the end board of what Fire Kings can do.
I mean, they went, full power, so they might as well. Everything else full power? Yeah. Just give us the liquid do it, and then I'll be happy. Or pot of green, but then a rabbit, so that way it's like pay your half your life and draw two. Then maybe that'd be good, but then that'll orphanage, so like, great. I'm okay with that. Oh, that's fire. First off, that's wrong. I'm sure. First or second, sir?
We'll try to go first.
See how it works out.
We'll try. We'll go Snake Eye Ash effect.
And in my opinion, I guess looking at some of these gameplays, it's just how much like you need to open more than one hand trap to really shut down. Like one for one, just special summoning that. I mean, he hasn't used his normal summon, so I don't even know if he does at this turn. But just the fact that he's able to, you open one effect Veiler and you hope that's enough, to use on Ash. You hope that's enough to stop them, and I mean, in my opinion, looking at it, everyone's just like, "Oh, you always stop Ash. You always hit Ash," and most of the time that's the case, and sometimes they'll stop. But the fact that they didn't even use, I mean, Luke didn't even use Ash in this case as the normal and just a special. Now you really need to decide what you have to hit. On a normal summon, Ash, normal summon Snake Eyes Ash, you hit it. Yeah, they wasted their normal summon. They have to hope to have another extender. But if you don't open up, I mean, like I said in my other video, it's like a hand trap format. You need to open up multiple hand traps to really stun or shut down most decks. And it's interesting because I think when Konami released Tempest, it just seems like they wanted to do more board breakers or make going second even more powerful. Because if you don't open up hand traps, you just have to watch them play, and then you just go, "Oh, great! Am I going to be able to stop it?" Well, now it's like, yeah, we're going to give going second cards, 10 pies, and everything else a little bit more of a boost to going second decks. You know, you can build just pure 10 pies if you really wanted to, but you can't half and half it. I'm going to put in a couple of hand traps, hope that's enough to stop. You know, I just need to open one of them. No, you need to open at least multiple hand traps. And if you open multiple hand traps, then you just kind of lose when you don't have any of your combo pieces. You know, and there's so many top meta decks that they only open hand traps and no one card starters. And I think that's a good way to kind of explain Snake Eyes is they're all just one card starters. So looking at it, I mean, if he had another hand trap, he would typically hit, you know, another one of the key oak or any of the other cards that really make the deck pop off. But the fact that he doesn't is just it's just rough, you know. I mean, unless you know, David could very well have opened up a nib, you know, and I know Snake Eyes now some, and I've talked to a couple of my friends and buddies, and they're just saying, yeah, you can typically climb into an Appaloosa. You know, I don't know if it's on the fifth specifically or before. I don't think it's before the fifth for sure, but normally it's like, yeah, after the fifth you can do Appaloosa. You just need to, you know, time it right so your opponent kind of doesn't see it. But if they typically lose two nib, it seems like, in my opinion. Um, so it's just more hand traps that are stunning you, or go ahead. I've seen a video. I think it's a Sky Striker player that posted a video where he did a no hand trap build, just pure Sky Striker. And Sky Strikers are all about going second, so it's just gas. Just yep, I'm gonna go ahead and make your board. I'm gonna break it, and I'm just gonna kill you with it. You know, so it's interesting. But he does end with you know, Luke ends on this board and see what David can do, if anything at all.
Space. Sending silver to add a later dark electronic noise under a set. Between levels 4 to 8 of different habits.
So you set the lights when you're getting it dark then?
There was also a 30-second time extension match, like 2 matches down the table. This was Siegel, Jacob Siegel versus somebody. I don't remember who. Siegel had been targeted for the deck check. Got yelled at. I'm not sure about everything that happened that resulted in the monster extension, but stuff happened. Siegel's on impact.
Damn! I'm playing back next!
Don't look at my record. 19 make blood go. I had to give a warning to somebody upside down. Play the barn, next down, pick up the lights. I think this thing
it was his extra deck, but like all of his copies of Big Book. Yeah,
Did you pull the light kill? I put it on the table. Or not the wake up, no, I put the sticker on the table.
No.
I took one and I took the other. Ida, and then I stole his flamers with his own flamers.
Yep.
because I access code pop like the whole board. Like, so
On special, we will go Flaming Effects special.
that's how they should have fucking feature.
And go Ash Effect that. Poplar Effect special.
I'm halfway through. So Thursday I should be good. Three. I think that's the only reason why I beat. You have to start.
Ben, you fully wake up?
I got a whole core of one box. I know. It was insane.
I know what the fix is, but I'm not sure.
I should. I can try. I swear I make a silver princess. I think I played this. Thinking about it. Oh, I will
point out the order.
Dragon Lore effect.
Oh, because it was just a special from.
Oh, at least it's not like a
Yeah.
This says player sees a card in the library edition. Shuffle the card into the unknown portion of the library. So take the card, shuffle it. Take that card, shuffle it. So you know most of the cards should be there.
I'm a little ways away from it.
We'll do unicorn chain link wire, discarding your cost to target your back row, and then we'll do dark chain 2 to add.
Kind of looking at this point, like how right now, advantage-wise, David really doesn't have much of a hand, but the fact that Thunder Dragons really just need, like, one card engraved, obviously cards engraved to make them work, but, like, having one card, you're looking at it like, what can it really end on? I mean, making the unicorn pitching, but like some of those Thunder Dragons that they just need one cards to just really pop off and go off. And then not only that, but they just can straight up be like, hey, now that I have because I activated one Thunder Dragon in my hand, now I can just make a free Colossus that, or, I think Titan needs something different, but Colossus for sure. And then just, poke. But looking at it, the fact that he had nothing else on hand, only the 2 cards on board, and again, I don't know if he actually built or if he even had a side deck for this game. I know he built it. He was asking people before the tournament started if people had this certain card. So the fact that he was building his main deck without a side, he's kind of going into it just, hey, if I can go first and make a Colossus and win, then that's game for most decks, which is typically the case. But looking at it, this is the board he ends on. I mean, I think he can do, and I'm not sure why he summoned in defense. Maybe just to build a wall. But yeah, looking at it, just like I would have maybe tried to, swing into a little more. Maybe that and the Poplar, but he ends up just passing there. And I think shortly after, if I remember watching it correctly, he ends up just kind of scooping after seeing what the Fire King can do. Flameberg, that's what it's called. So yeah, just I'm going to put your Colossus back there, and that was his only real line of defense. So he ends up scooping it up, going into game 3 with David going first. But this time, Luke can definitely side in, I guess, stuff to actually stop Thunder Dragon Colossus and all the other shenanigans that the deck can make. So here we are going into game 3 with David going first. I did have to reshift the camera. We moved the table back a little bit so that we can get a little bit less glare, but I don't think it helped much. But yeah, that's why the angle camera is just shifted just a little bit. I think I messed up the angle where we couldn't see David's graveyard, but regardless, David is going first this time. I'm not sure exactly how his deck works all that well, but Luke is able to side in things to hopefully stop, just Thunder Dragon Colossus shutting him down. But who knows? Maybe David will do something different or interesting, but I think most time, I mean, unless you open absolutely crack, but Thunder Dragons are just like I'm gonna make a Colossus. That's all I need to do, and then I'll set up next turn and kill you. So, I mean, shutting them down the whole turn with that is pretty interesting. So, thinking about it, actually, just making being able to easily make Thunder Dragon Colossus. If like Floodgates were around more, I'm imagining like it'd be just like Thunder Dragon Colossus Floodgates, like just rivalries, summon limits, just shut them out from searching and from summoning. So, but we'll see here. I think if I remember correctly, watching this, David kind of just ends on a Colossus to set up for next turn, but we'll see.
And I went through, it's gone. That's stuff I need to do in my
Something policy.
Yep. Yeah.
pretty good.
You only got 5 packs because of somebody.
I only got 5 packs because someone bought all the boxes before I got here.
I know. I showed up. I was like, "I'll take a box, please." He's like, "Yeah, we're off." I'm like, "Oh, that's okay." More on Wednesday first. You get more on Wednesday. Go here on Sunday. Oh, you want a monkey then? Draw. Stand by. Main phase.
I think, yeah, Luke drew the Imperm for turn. So good. Just being able to negate Colossus. Colossus's lockdown. Now, if David were running Surveus, one of Juan's favorite cards, but with that, now he's able to just kind of go off, search, do whatever he'd like to do, and hopefully David can survive the barrage. We'll see, I guess, but God, drawing Imperm for turn is just so good. And I think with droplets running around, conversation with a couple of my buddies where it's, yeah, you just droplets also Colossus too. Like, oh, you need to search, droplets the Colossus, can't do anything there, which is also really powerful in itself. And it just seems like, again, board breakers are a very big thing in my opinion. So, but let's see if Luke can OTK or FTK, I guess, since it's his going first turn, but OTK David like he did me, so we'll see.
Four in hand? We'll go original sin.
Speaking of the people that don't not take
But also,
you can maybe get some people that are
Special.
yeah.
the cards I traded for.
Special hand.
That was my last trade.
Ash effect.
There's also stuff from some other. There's a lot of different.
Normal oak. Oak target poplar special.
Poplar effect.
Take the listing and move everything. I don't need from the listing. And once I do that, I will be able to
Heading temple.
send the list again. Okay, this is
Activate temple.
Oh yeah.
2/1/1 counters.
Go. Oak effect.
Oh, by the way, you said it might not be too late to order a case of February.
Again,
He's calling me.
Special Flamber.
again, the evening.
But that's fine.
Have you tried Crusher?
I hope they're really not.
Go. Ash effect.
Also,
Start with flamethrower. Attacks. I didn't even get
Especially same position. Yep.
no.
both those. Second name. Make bloody.
It just gives me a crap ton of material then.
It doesn't synergize with the old gadgets at all.
Yeah, we'll go Ash effect.
It doesn't synergize with the old gadget. It gives you the new version of the movie Stronghold Fortress.
Are these this way?
Yeah, it doesn't matter which way. Why don't you cram them all together?
And or alright, well then that means I have to do this. Because I can't special summon itself. Flamberg effect is special up to 2.
Compared outside, yeah. I just went on a window and that's what killed it.
Don't forget that's one of the big events. Is that causes
Black
black
Key
Yep. That's why when I sort through all the Horsley Flicker, I am then going to just have it as an empty deck box with 2 dice in the top and a coin for response. So that way I can just be like, this deck.
Oh, he's getting around Colossus this time.
The Imperm did it for me. We'll go Princess effect to special. It does not target. Specials of fire.
Yeah.
Baylor.
X1 dot deck.
Shit.
That's
Destiny Hero Dasher. Just 2. I think I need to Dasher out.
I already did that effects. 3 others in hand.
Brandon, but just buying 3 deck lists, 3 structure decks, and my homework. I could get 3 structure decks for $21.
We'll go Flamberry effect to back row the Colossus.
The thing about electricity
We
is
will
you need to overload that
want
in
it.
response to a spell stutter sprite trigger. Yeah, can let
I think you can force in there too, which I was like, that's okay.
spell stutter sprite.
I always need more sparring imperms, dude. Every deck I'm building, I'm like, oh, there's the imperms in there, and I'm like, damn it.
We'll go. Oh, goes to normal. We'll go battle phase. Go 57.
3, 23.
Set
It's part of why I
1.
like having access.
Fine by me. How much is the deck?
And pass it your way.
Can't you find selfish products on TCG?
That's why I like having access.
I fucking, yeah, 3 cards, 4 cards.
Pay it at Walmart, flip it.
Just let my opponent break their 3 stutter sprites, and then cast something that I play counter.
Play it and activate.
And then they try to counter with spell stutter sprite. Off all their sprites and force the spell
Still saves me money, but
There was one person when I used to travel to Minneapolis on Saturdays to play Whopper. There was one person in the city that I would met again.
It's hard to get enough.
I don't know what it was. There was something about this person that one turn. So on Weekson when they were playing Mono Delver or Mono Fairies, I was like light teachers.
Yes, and since you use lights and darks, you get.
I was playing Mono Tron with
Destroy up to 2.
remember first game.
Oh yeah.
So we'll do 11
Well, I guess they're gonna try to
we'll do
Fling my ATOG at your Vanguard Marauder. So I go, Rocco, we'll do Zach
finally got rid of
get another 5. Grab Sedgery step.
I don't believe it's dark.
Oh, it does not. You're absolutely right.
Alright.
Legendary effect.
So, dark will shuffle any number of cards in your hand and deck and draw. Okay, and then dark will add. Okay, and this is
These are garbage against me. I mean, this
only get
this blocks.
we will go.
I gave you mine.
Yeah,
I gave Andrew the mine to select.
Temple effect to target the Colossus to special.
Eventually,
It'll target one monster treated as continuous spell, special summon it to your field. Resolve. It's when you special summon. If your opponent normally special summons a monster.
which I don't want to play it because while I have no illusions that I am a good enough magic player to take my game away from you, I'm not. I also don't want to have that be part of the equation at all because I'm not interested in playing and I would also rather stand around and watch get paid to watch people play magic than pay to go drop and then watch people play
I'll put sand in my binder and shake it around. There you go.
These events that I'm maybe kind of interested in, like
that?
what I'm not available. That's actually out
I got like 40
It does
just knocking around in here.
it's a really good way to maintain a
Yeah, just keep it in permanent.
I did not.
Play if you're not interested. And also learning rules.
It's too hot dying.
As you become a judge, it's really helpful.
Shuffle then draw. Ha! Every other card.
Learn that there are keys.
Remember that you got Max. I already won, but it's listed as $100.
The game's kind of died.
Yeah, it's $1.
It's one.
Dog shit resonated.
Those suck. The other, I didn't realize that was like.
The game's pretty cool. Home plays it out.
Dude, Andrew's got his Atlantis for you right here.
Already got it.
You can have that.
Now you know what I'm probably
I used to love
enjoy
that.
that.
He's got a QC promoted to 10 years.
Sure.
I think I should.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
I could see them putting in a really fucking too.
Pretty sick.
It'd be pretty funny. Maybe Shaman. Try it out, man. I'll put his friends a lot. But none of the cards are necessarily expensive.
Now this wouldn't be able to revive because it wasn't
That
considered
would be a funny way to
correctly summoned. Because its effect is to special summon by triggering a thunder if you activated a thunder hand. Double checking.
Like 100.
Sure.
Alright,
Aren't you playing Protoss the other day or something?
yeah.
See, I think it's really just because I play in.
But I was playing the fucking decks.
I play in perm zones all the time. I'll never play on this.
Oh, the guy that was playing.
It would be fun to be like the Rob McKenzie for Cortana.
You will. The first thing I did in the turn was
Another monster activate and hand destroy one card off the field.
he played his pot into
Banish
the
2 from
Oh, there
okay.
are cards for cost. Okay. Then I go, no effect. What? And I go, input. Those fucking cards. And then he grabbed his hand again, threw it, and played another spell right
He revised to when he ascended.
and I was just like, oh my god, could have been anything like what? Imperm was like, game 2.
That's another switch card.
Because he imperm called himself twice. My mad master made it so fucking
So it looks like David was able to survive, get a turn, but with only, I believe, 1 minute left in time. I just don't think that there's much else that he can do to win the game and get enough damage on board. So I think it's all but over. But it would have been interesting to see how the continuation would have gone. I don't remember asking Luke was he able to actually turn it around and win, but I mean, for this David's first time playing the deck, he did, very, very well. It's definitely a deck that you're like, oh, yep, we got to watch out for that. Definitely prepare for it, which helped us a lot. But looking at it, because he SP'd Little Knight, he was not able to attack directly. Just trying to set up and hopefully survive. But once he passes, I believe, looking at the clock, there's about 30 seconds left. And, I mean, Snake Eyes, if opening good enough, they can just, combo for well over a minute. So looking at it, that would be the ending of it and the conclusion of our round 2.
Yeah, you were climbing. You were going back
David
up.
versus Luke. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will upload round 3.
Do you have like a lit?
Yeah.
Luckily, those 2 cards I drew were just like the
Oh, yeah.
and then it's just boom.